Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms! And I would like to welcome all of you back here to the channel, right here on YouTube.com, as of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. And this is, of course, the third annual special edition StormsStream on YouTube.com. And what better way to have yet another StormsStream with my very first guest on the first annual StormsStream. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the channel, Jake Salig. What is up, Jake?
What's up?
All right.
How you doing?
All right. I'm doing great, Jake. How are you doing?
I'm great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get straight into our topics. Now, first off, of course, we got the weekly show reviews. Now, I said I would save Raw on the Lightning Flash update for this specific StormsStream, and we're going to get straight into Monday Night Raw. So, Monday Night Raw started off with Vince, Stephanie, and Triple H kicking off the show. Triple H basically talked about the bonding and trust of the superstars. Stephanie made an announcement that on October 28th, it will be an all-women's pay-per-view called Evolution. Now, we're going to save that. We're actually going to go save that because the final topic on this StormsStream, we will be talking about Evolution, and we're going to fantasy book the pay-per-view, see what matches we could possibly get come October 28th. But we're going to move on. The show then continued on with the B team defeating Hardy and Wyatt in a rematch from Extreme Rules, and then Hardy and Wyatt later attacked afterwards. I didn't really see anything special with this match whatsoever. The B team really hasn't proven that they are worthy of becoming the Raw Tag Team Champions. They really haven't done anything. Supposedly, at SummerSlam, it's going to be a triple threat match between the B team, the Revival, and Hardy and Wyatt. I hope the Revival actually take the win there. Jake, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, same basically. I mean, B team are a joke. They're just a comedy team. They're basically just transitional champions. I don't really see them doing anything with the belts. And I do agree. I hope that triple threat happens, and I hope the Revival or AOP takes those belts at SummerSlam. And then we can get back to legit tag team wrestling in the division.
True. All right. Next, we had Sasha Banks and Bayley defeating Jobbers. That didn't really do anything for the audience. That wasn't really that important. We don't really need to address that. We had Strowman addressing the crowd. Owens then interrupted, says Braun has problems coming. Corbin then comes out, and then out of nowhere, Jinder Mahal comes out by the order of Baron Corbin, and Jinder Mahal starts teaching Braun Strowman Shanti. So, let me tell you something. Put it this way. Mahal is much better off in the position that he's in now, where he's not tarnishing any championships. That reign of terror is over. Afterwards, Jinder Mahal and Sunil got these hands, in the words of Braun Strowman, and they got beaten down by Braun. Afterwards, Kevin Owens went to the back, and Stephanie made it official at SummerSlam. It will be Strowman and Owens, and it will be for Strowman's Money in the Bank briefcase. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I agree. And to think that this man, looking where he is now, is the WWE champion, it's just sad thinking about it now, especially. He's nothing more than just a comedy mid-card character on this garbage show. And
He should have never became WWE champion to begin with.
On Raw this week, and Braun better squash Jinder back to main event.
He's already on main event, so that problem's taken care of. Really, there are 4 failures right now. There's Carmelo, there's Bliss, there's Jinder, and then there's Roman. Jinder is the only one that they're actually booking correctly because he's nothing more than a lower mid-carder.
Well, Alexa will be done with because I think he's losing at SummerSlam. She's not retaining.
It better be a 3-minute squash.
Nah, less than 3 minutes. It better be 30 seconds.
Even better. Even better. We got 2 people joining right now. If you got any questions for us here in this StormsStream, go ahead and ask away. But we're moving on. Later we had...
Gustavo?
What's up?
Is it Gustavo? He told me he'd be there on the stream.
No one has commented yet, but we're going to find out. Now, later on, we had Mickie James defeating Natalya. This didn't really do anything. Oh, Gustavo just arrived. What is up, Gustavo? Welcome to the StormsStream. Later we had Mickie James and Natalya. They faced off. This was a boring match. This didn't really do anything. Mickie James won. Alexa Bliss doing the tired old cowardly heel bullshit. Then we had Titus Worldwide, and they disposed of AOP. Now, let me tell you something, Jake. Titus Worldwide and Authors of Pain. Titus Worldwide and Authors of Pain. If they gave these two teams, oh hey, my man Nathan Best from Manchester. What is up, Nathan? You know, thank you for joining me here in this StormsStream. I've been wanting to, for you to see me do this live, so I'm thankful that you joined. Same thing with you, Gustavo. Thank you for joining. So Titus Worldwide and AOP. Let me tell you something. If they gave these two teams 10 to 15 minutes, I guarantee you they can put on a damn good match. But they're doing absolutely nothing of substance with these two teams. What are your thoughts on this?
I did have a problem with this segment because I remember when I think AOP needs a manager fast because I think it was Razor, he botched a line in the promo and it exposed AOP's promo problems, and I think they need a manager. They should have kept Paul Ellering. I still don't get why they got rid of Paul Ellering.
Hold up. Did he really botch? I didn't really catch it.
I think he did, but I don't remember what he said, but I think he did botch something.
All right, but regardless.
Yeah, I agree with you on that they should be fighting over something right now because they're honestly, this feud is just nothing. No one cares.
Amen. Amen, Gustavo. Raw does suck. But again, they could put on a damn good match if WWE gave them time. Then later we had Mojo Rawley defeating Tyler Breeze, and this was basically a nothing match. And look, Mojo Rawley, he's got the potential to be something, but again, they're not really pushing Mojo Rawley correctly. They're not really doing anything with Mojo Rawley that's really going to get me excited. What are your thoughts on Mojo Rawley?
I don't really care for Mojo Rawley, but I saw Tyler Breeze was actually competing at the NXT house show this past weekend, and I'm like, good, keep him there. He's over as heck in NXT, and all the great matches he could have with Adam Cole, Ricochet, Gargano, Ciampa. I mean, there's
Match
so
of
much
the year
potential for him to be
candidates.
sent back down to NXT, and it could revitalize his career.
True.
So keep Tyler in NXT, please. Triple H.
Yeah, keep Tyler in NXT while Fandango's recovering. Hold on, Gustavo just said something. I love Alexa Bliss, but I've said it before, and I'll say it again. She's extremely lackluster in the ring. Amen, Gustavo. Amen to that. Then we
I agree with him.
Yeah.
He's good on the mic, but besides, in the ring, she's nothing more than just good tits and a fat ass. That's really all Alexa Bliss is in the ring.
Same thing with Carmella. But here's
on
the thing.
Mic, he plays a good heel.
For me, her promos have really become cringy and repetitive. It's just the same thing over and over again for Alexa Bliss. I'm better than you. You suck. Blah, 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 blah. But anyway, we're moving on from Alexa Bliss. So, Drew McIntyre versus Finn Balor. This was actually turning into a good match. Oh, look at this. Mac Diesel's over here. What is up, Mac Diesel? Drew versus Finn. That was actually...
huge show.
Oh, yeah, from the Dr. Huge show. Sleaze is actually at work, so he's going to watch this back later. We're going to be going over an hour, so don't worry. So then we had Drew versus Finn. This was turning into a good match, and then Ziggler interrupted. Rollins made the save, and then Seth and Balor, this tired old tag team bullshit. And then later on, it was confirmed that Rollins versus Ziggler for the IC title has been made for SummerSlam. And let me tell you something. I actually think that it's going to be Drew and Finn at SummerSlam in a rematch because that could be a damn good match. Gustavo just said, I hate Smiley Finn so much. Yeah, you're right. Balor really needs to be booked in a better way. What are your thoughts on this?
By the way, I'm making a prediction. I don't think it's going to be Rollins versus Ziggler. I think McIntyre somehow, some way, is going to find his way into the match. And there's going to be like some dissension between Ziggler and McIntyre. And I think that'll play into the match, and I think it's going to allow Rollins to regain the title.
All right.
Somehow, it's playing.
All right.
I don't think it's just going to be another straight up one-on-one match because I honestly have no interest in seeing another one. We've seen it like way too many times over the past few months. I really don't want to see it again at SummerSlam.
I mean, regardless, it could still...
So I'd much prefer if they just booked a triple threat.
Regardless,
with McIntyre. Well,
regardless, it could still be a damn good match, but I don't really think they're going to break up McIntyre and Ziggler right now. If they want to put Finn in there, I guess they can. Oh, look at this. Juanito is here. What is up, Juanito? Shout out to you. Then we had Ember Moon defeating Liv Morgan. That was it was I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, Ember Moon needed the win. We had Elias actually make 4 appearances on the show. Elias is great as always. What do you think they're going to do with Elias in SummerSlam?
I actually read a rumor that he's going to be playing songs from his album throughout the night. He won't be wrestling, but he'll probably do that, if I had to guess. There really is no clear match for Elias at all at SummerSlam.
I wouldn't really mind that. I mean, Elias is great on the mic.
Yes, I agree with that for sure.
So next week, we actually have 4 segments, well, 2 segments and 2 matches confirmed for next week. It's going to be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. And by the way, Baron Corbin and Finn Balor had the second best match of the night at Extreme Rules. Don't at me. Oh, hold on one second. Nathan Best, he said he would love a confrontation between The Rock and Elias at some point. I think that is going to be happening at WrestleMania 35. But we got Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin.
Hold up.
What?
I actually think that might happen on Raw this week, because Raw's in Miami. It's The Rock's hometown. Maybe they'll do a confrontation with Rock and Elias this Monday on Raw.
That would make the show. That would be the only good segment on the show.
Yeah, the Ronda Rousey segment should be decent, I guess.
But yeah, we got Ronda Rousey making a return next week. Hold on, Juanito. I didn't catch that question. It faded away too quickly. But next week we got Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre, Finn Balor and Corbin. We got Ronda returning, and then Brock returning. And then in the main event, Roman Reigns defeated Bobby Lashley. Now let me tell you something before you give me your thoughts, and then we move to SmackDown. Match was basically the same thing that we got at Extreme Rules. I'm not saying it was bad, but it was the same thing we got at Extreme Rules. And Bobby Lashley, carried Roman Reigns through this match like a baby. He carried Roman through this match like a child. And then WWE wants to play off the fact that Roman, he can't kick out of the spear at Extreme Rules, but he kicked out of the spear on Monday Night Raw. Like, how does that make any sense whatsoever? Only proves my point. The match at Extreme Rules, like, well, what was it for? If you were going to do this, then why didn't you make the match at Extreme Rules a #1 contenders match? And on top of that, the 2 triple threat matches that we got last week, when we got those 2 triple threat matches, I guarantee you that was supposed to be the 6-pack challenge at Extreme Rules before Vince McMahon scrapped it. What are your thoughts on the main event segment before we move into SmackDown?
I mean, like JD said, I'm not going to crap all over it like I would for any other else match, because we knew it was going to happen. I mean, everyone saw this coming from a mile away. We don't want it. We're going to have to deal with it. And Brooklyn, don't let me down. I hope you take a flaming dump on this match. And I want to see everyone in Brooklyn walking out of that arena.
Well, that's if it main events.
You say, obviously, boo the heck out of both men and throw trash in the ring.
Oh my God! If they throw trash in the ring, I swear I may move to Brooklyn. But anyway, moving on from really awful wrestling to SmackDown Live.
Yes, an actual good 2 hours of wrestling doesn't insult our intelligence.
A damn good show was SmackDown Live. So, Miz and Maurice actually arrived with their kid. That actually played a factor into the show. Orton basically kicked off the show, and he said he turned because of all the people and he felt disrespected, and Orton promises to end Hardy's career and make his life miserable. What are your thoughts on heel Orton?
This was a great promo. I mean, Randy Orton is so good as a heel. I mean, the man, some people were just born to play a villain. Randy Orton is one of those people. He's not a good babyface at all. The man is just a great heel. I mean, it's in his DNA. And the promo he cut, it was an easy, simple explanation. He doesn't like that. He claims that he's a legend who set the table for all these young wrestlers to come through the business, and he doesn't feel he's getting the respect he deserves. Angle we've seen many times before, but it works and it gets heat. And I think whatever they do, whether it's the Hardy match or the triple threat, it's going to work, and it should definitely be very good. And I'm definitely going to be looking forward to whatever Randy Orton is doing at SummerSlam for sure, now that he is back to the role he plays best, which is a heel.
True. We actually had a good match between Andrade Cien Almas and Rusev, and Lana, Zelina Vega, and Aiden English all got involved, and Aiden English ended up costing Rusev after Zelina Vega shoved English into Lana. Rusev got distracted and almost hit the hammerlock DDT for the win. What are your thoughts on this match?
It was a good match. Not surprisingly, all two talents I'm big fans of, Almost and Rusev. Thankfully, Almost won. After what happened to him with AJ, he could not afford another loss. And it did a decent job setting up and continuing the dissension. Rusev Day, it sets up a potential mixed tag to give Almost and Rusev something to do at SummerSlam, with Almost and Vega against Rusev and Lana.
I agree 100%. Then we had a match between Samoa Joe and R-Truth. R-Truth, let me tell you something. The man is 46 and he's still moving around pretty damn good. I don't know why they don't utilize R-Truth a little more. R-Truth and Sin Cara, those two guys, very underrated talents on SmackDown Live. So I want to see R-Truth get utilized a little more. Samoa Joe won with the Coquina clutch within a minute. Samoa Joe looking dominant as ever. He played a factor later on in the show, which we will talk about.
Yeah, but wouldn't be the last we saw him on the show, for sure.
Then we had Asuka defeating Billie Kay. Obviously, Asuka needed the win. Styles' SummerSlam opponent. What's up, Gustavo? Oh, hang on. We got Gustavo actually said something pretty damn intelligent. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, they're gonna blow away Roman and Lesnar like we all know they are. Yeah.
Facts, Gustavo. Amen.
AJ Styles' SummerSlam opponent is revealed to be Samoa Joe. Before that, Ellsworth came out, and thank God that Paige fired Ellsworth, because Ellsworth is perhaps the most irrelevant character on SmackDown Live. Without Ellsworth and Carmella, if they were off of SmackDown Live, I think SmackDown Live would be the picture-perfect show. What are your thoughts on Samoa Joe being announced as Styles' opponent?
Also, what we said about Ellsworth, he should just go back to GTS wrestling now. No one wants him in the WWE. Just go back there. No one wants you here. And like I said, I'm really excited. I mean, we know history Joe and AJ have dating back to TNA, and it's going to blow away anything Lesnar and Roman do at SummerSlam. And it's the real main event. AJ and Joe is the real main event. Screw Vince's corporate agenda. This is the real main event. Even though it's not going to close the show, because, you know, they do everything for fucking Roman in this company.
Happens.
And their priorities are very fucked up.
True. We had Becky Lynch actually defeating Carmella. Surprisingly, this was actually Carmella's best match as champion, and surprise, surprise, it was against Becky Lynch. So Becky, she is getting a title match at SummerSlam, and I hope to God Becky Lynch wins. What are your thoughts on this?
Same. And it's I find it kind of funny that her best match is champion, she loses. Yeah, I hope Becky wins that title. We need to see that title back on a woman who can actually wrestle and can actually go in that ring. I'm sick of this diva Carmella who's fucking trash, devaluing this title every week she holds it. She's the Jinder of the women's division on SmackDown Live.
Nothing but the truth.
Every day she holds that title, she devalues it and she makes it less and less prestigious.
Nothing but the truth right there.
Becky, please rid us of this title reign and please take that belt at SummerSlam. Please, Becky.
Nothing but the gospel truth, my friend. Then we had a match between New Day and Sanity. This was the only thing that I really found wrong with the show, and you are absolutely right, Gustavo. Carmella is a paper champion. This was the only thing that I found wrong with the show. The fact that Sanity lost. Now, it was a decent match, but Sanity lost, and I've been calling Sanity and the Bludgeon Brothers for a long, long time. This was a bad idea. But regardless, I hope the Bar actually win, and I would like to see the Bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers. What are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I agree. Sanity needed this win. I don't get why they gave it to the New Day. New Day has seen their time. They should have lost again to Sandy and helped put Sandy over and continue to establish them. But yeah, now that they're out, I hope the Bar wins because at least Bar versus Bludgeon Brothers, it's something fresh and something we haven't seen before.
True.
So,
all right. Next week, we actually got the Usos in the Bar. That should be a great damn match. They've put on great matches in the past. In the main segment of the show, we had the Miz's premiere party, and Bryan actually sabotaged the promo package of Miz's failures in the WWE. And obviously, Daniel Bryan said, you know what, I'm going to come out and apologize to you. He beat down his security guards, and then Miz tossed a fake baby doll and hit Bryan with the skull-crushing finale. So, I do not think, you're absolutely right, Nick, Roman does suck, but I do not think that Bryan versus Miz is too soon. You know why? Because they can really spread out the feud, and they don't need to have their first match for the WWE title at WrestleMania. So here's what's going to happen. I think Bryan's going to defeat The Miz at SummerSlam, and then I think Miz is going to get his rematch inside Hell in a Cell. Miz is going to storyline injure Daniel Bryan. Miz is going to storyline injure Daniel Bryan, and he's going to take him off of television for 5 months, all the way up until the Royal Rumble. And then, Miz is going to win the WWE title at TLC, because now we know why they canceled Clash of Champions in December. They replaced it with TLC because we got Evolution in October. Miz is going to win the title at TLC in December. Bryan makes his return after 4 months, winning the Royal Rumble, and then we get Bryan versus The Miz at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. That's what I think is going to happen. This is a perfect start for what they're doing. What are your thoughts on this?
You know, I actually had a different idea, but yours was perfect. So I'm not even going to give mine.
Yeah, it makes sense. Drag it out and let the crowd miss Daniel Bryan and let The Miz soak up all the heat.
There is one change I would make, though.
What?
Miz beats Bryan. We go wait for a while. Miz wins the title at TLC. Bryan wins the Rumble. And then they have their second match at Mania, and Bryan wins the title.
But so you're saying that
a rematch at Hell in a Cell.
So you're saying that this is just going to be a one-off situation?
Yeah, for like the better of the long-term story, yeah.
All right, but overall, great episode of SmackDown Live. Nathan, I think Bryan has signed a new deal. I believe I reported that in the Lightning Flash update a couple weeks ago, if you want to go check that out. But good question, Nathan.
Yes, I believe.
Did he sign?
I read from like multiple sites. I signed.
Okay. Next, on to 205 Live. We are halfway through the weekly show reviews. 205 Live was a fantastic show, let me tell you. We had a good match to open the show between Akira Tozawa and Jack Gallagher, and Tozawa defeated Jack Gallagher. The crowd was much more lively for 205 Live. Tozawa then stated he wanted a rematch with Lio Rush, and Drake Maverick said he is going to consider it. So what are your thoughts on this opening match?
I didn't watch 205 Live.
You didn't watch it?
I have to admit, I did not watch it. No. I'm like one of those guys who watches 205 Live only when the Cruiserweight title match or something.
No, you gotta watch it every week, because every week they're putting on championship caliber matches. The Fatal 4-Way that they had was great. Also, one more question. Juanito actually asked, when do I feel Ambrose will return? I think he might return at SummerSlam to either screw over Seth or Roman, but we're going to have to wait and find out. Jake, when do you think Ambrose is going to return?
Or, here's what might happen. If Roman does win the title, I can return on the Raw through SummerSlam and set them up as Roman's first challenger.
For what? Ambrose?
Yeah, for the Universal title, yeah.
Yeah, because you kind of cut out there for a minute, but I like it. But we had a good match to open the show. Then we had Kalisto and Lince Dorado defeating a couple jobbers. The main event, Drew Gulak, Hideo Itami, TJP, and Mustafa Ali. You're welcome, Juanito. This was a great damn Fatal 4-Way, and if you are not watching 205 Live on a week-to-week basis, you are living life as a wrestling fan wrong. This was a great damn match, a lot of great spots, and I was right. Drew Gulak took it home. Drew Gulak defeated Ali, Itami, and TJP, and Drew Gulak is facing Cedric for the championship. I believe this is going to be Cedric's last challenger before Mustafa Ali gets his rematch at SummerSlam and Ali finally wins the Cruiserweight title then. But if you have not watched this Fatal 4-Way, go back and watch it. You got to start watching 205 Live on a weekly basis, Jake. It is a great damn show. It's the second best show right behind SmackDown Live. All right. Now,
we're going to talk about NXT.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about NXT, all 4 of the weekly shows. And then
we got to talk about NXT more.
Absolutely. And then we're getting into the TakeOver Brooklyn 4 predictions from you. NXT started off with Adam Cole versus Sean Maluda. This was a quick damn match, straightforward and to the point. Adam Cole super kicked Sean Maluda's lights out, hit the last shot, and then cut a promo saying that he always grants opportunities. And then Ricochet came out, and he challenged Adam Cole to a match at TakeOver, but he rejected Ricochet, did Adam Cole. Cole went up the ramp, and then Ricochet obviously insulted him, saying, I was right. You're just a coward. And after that, what happened was the Undisputed Era came out, and they were going to jump Ricochet. The War Raiders came out of nowhere and cornered the Undisputed Era, and then they tried to escape through the crowd. Mustache Mountain came out and jabbed the living daylights out of Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. So obviously we're getting Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4. That is going to be a great damn match. What are your thoughts on the two matches being set up here, the tag title match and the North American title match?
I have a bold prediction, though, for War Games.
Okay.
In a few months. I know it's a few months away, but I have a prediction. I think this segment was an early War Games.
Early
I got a
setup?
feeling it's going to be Undisputed Era style versus Ricochet and the War Raiders in War Games.
I have a feeling I would have thought they would have added Velveteen Dream into War Games since Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream, I don't really know what they're going to have him doing at War Games. Because Velveteen Dream right now, he's going to a program with EC3, and we all know that that's going to be a damn good match. But I don't really know where Velveteen Dream fits into War Games, but we're going to have to wait and see.
I have an idea where he might be heading, but I'll talk about that when I make my predictions.
Okay. Then we had Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler sign the contract for their NXT Women's Championship match at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and obviously Shayna Baszler is bashing Kairi Sane. Kairi says that everyone knows that she is going to beat Shayna Baszler just like she did in the Mae Young Classic. I can't wait for this match. What about you?
Yes, I'm very excited as well. Shayna Baszler is the best women's champion in all of WWE today, and Kairi Sane is one of the best female performers in the world. It should definitely be a very good match, and I'm definitely looking forward to it, just like you are.
Amen. Lacey Evans then defeated a jobber. Obviously, Lacey Evans is getting familiar with the NXT brand, and she's going to be featured a lot more. I can't wait to see what they have planned for Lacey Evans. I actually think that Lacey Evans might be Kairi Sane's first title defense after Shayna Baszler. So I think that it's going to be Kairi Sane defeating Shayna Baszler at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. She's going to have a title defense against Lacey Evans on NXT television. We're going to get a rematch at Evolution between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. And then at NXT TakeOver War Games, I think they're going to introduce either Bianca Belair or Candice LeRae. But then in the main event, we had the second match that made the week outside of the Fatal 4-Way. What is up, Ultrasound? Gustavo says Survivor Series would suck if we had Alexa Bliss versus Carmella. Don't put that nightmare in my head. Do not put that nightmare in my head, Gustavo. Please. If you're going to talk like that...
Gustavo, I don't think that's happening. I think we're going to get Becky and Ronda.
Oh, my God. That would be a great damn match. That would be a great damn match. Gustavo, if you're going to put nightmares in my head, please kindly leave the chat room. Or the chat section, or whatever the hell they call it. But anyway, the main event. Outside of that Fatal 4-Way on 205 Live, the NXT Championship match. Don't worry, you're forgiven, Gustavo. No, Juanito. Bliss versus Carmella would not be a dream match. It would be a shit match. The main event of NXT.
Bliss versus Carmella is a match nightmares are made of.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Both of them can't wrestle. Both of them are lackluster with promos a little bit. I'm sorry, Alexa Bliss has kind of gotten lackluster with promos. Then we got the NXT Championship match. This was a fantastic match. Perhaps one of the best matches in Full Sail Live in a long, long time since Gargano and Cassius Ohno back in December. This was, hey, I'm always growing on people, Mac Diesel. I'm DJ Storms. But, hey, look, I have a lot of opinions too, but when it comes to wrestling analytics, I only state the biblical truth. Without a doubt, Gustavo, Ronda and Becky is always going to be superior to Alexa and Carmella. This was a fantastic NXT Championship match. Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black tore the house down. Tommaso Ciampa doing everything he could with a back body drop to Aleister Black on the apron. He hit that draping DDT. He hit that knee strike. Aleister Black with the springboard moonsault. Aleister Black with the tope con hero. So the ending of this match, seeing Tommaso Ciampa knock the ref to the exposed concrete Aleister Black hit Black Mass, but the ref was down. Tommaso Ciampa then gouged out the eyes, went for the NXT Championship. Johnny Gargano came out of nowhere, super kicked the shit out of Tommaso Ciampa, and then we had Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa in a tug of war for the title. Gargano pulled the title so forcefully out of Tommaso Ciampa's hands that it hit Aleister Black right in the face, and then Ciampa hit that double underhook implant butterfly facebuster for the 1, 2, 3, and Tommaso Ciampa is the new NXT champion. I don't know about you guys, but this was the first time that I have marked out in a long, long time. And I actually consider myself to be the YouTube version of Tommaso Ciampa, if you know what I mean. But this was a fantastic match. Ciampa wins. He's the NXT champion. What are your thoughts on this, Jake?
I mean, what can I say? Amazing match. He's the best damn heel in wrestling. Once again, he proves hard work has been rewarded with a NXT champion, and I love the story.
Sorry, you were cutting out there for a minute.
Writing another chapter. He did a job writing another chapter in the Gargano Ciampa story, because of all people, Johnny was the reason that the man he hates most, Tommaso Ciampa, is now the end. It's amazing storytelling, just great stuff. Triple H continues to produce gold with the yellow brand.
True. And that was pretty much it for the weekly show reviews. We spent a half hour on that. Now we're going to get into the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 predictions. And we're going to get Jake's predictions because I'm saving my predictions for the rundown for NXT TakeOver, Brooklyn 4, which will be seen SummerSlam week. So, Jake, we're going to go through all 5 of the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 matches, and we're going to start off with Ricochet versus Adam Cole.
Let's start at the bottom and work our way to the top.
Exactly. Give me your expertise analysis on NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4's North American Championship match.
Okay. This is going to be a great match. I mean, it's Adam Cole, one of the best performers in the WWE. The man has it all. He's got the mic skills. He's got the in-ring ability. He's a part of the best damn faction in wrestling today, besides the Bullet Club, obviously. And of course, and Ricochet. I mean, the man's amazing. He could use some work on his promo skills. I mean, his shaky. I'm not going to lie. This past week on NXT, but when it comes to the match, it's going to be a great match. Should be one of the best matches of the entire weekend. Both shows combined. My prediction. It's a tough one. It's a toss-up. I can honestly see this going either way. I could see Ricochet winning the title. I could see them wanting to have his crowning moment in Brooklyn. But I could see Adam Cole. He's doing such great heel work that I don't think they're going to want to take the title off of him right now. I don't know if now's the right time.
So you're going to go with Adam Cole?
In a cheap fashion, Adam Cole retains to set up a rematch at War Games. And then that's where Ricochet's going to win the title.
All right.
So I'm thinking Adam Cole retain for now.
All right. Next, let's talk about EC3 versus the Velveteen Dream. Give me your prediction on this match.
I'm really excited for the build specifically. I mean, the highlight of this build is not going to be the match. It's going to be the build and the promo battles between the two. Because everyone knows both men's strengths are on the mic. They're both fantastic promo guys. And I think it's going to be great seeing them have promo battles and promo duels going at it. As for my prediction, I'm predicting Velveteen Dream. He hasn't really been winning tons of big matches. I think he needs a big win on TakeOver more than EC3, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Velveteen Dream beats EC3. That's my prediction.
You know, you can't shaft these guys in the ring because both these guys are great in-ring performers.
Yeah, but compared to their in-ring ability, they're better promoists, obviously. But that's more to how great they are on the mic than that they're bad in the ring. They're not bad in the ring at all. They're good wrestlers.
I actually saw a comment not too long ago where Ultra Shadow, I believe his name is, correct me if I'm wrong. He was in the he was in the chat section, and he actually asked, "Do you think it's going to be AJ versus Braun at Survivor Series or AJ versus Lesnar again?"
I don't see see any way Lesnar walks out of SummerSlam with the belt. It's either Roman or it's going to be Braun cashing in. I don't see any way Lesnar walks out because he's leaving and he's going to train for his UFC fight in January.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's talk about Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era for the
oh baby, I can't wait for this one.
Oh yeah, Mustache Mountain versus Undisputed Era for the tag team titles.
Right now. This is going to be the match of the weekend. After seeing their match on NXT, like how amazing that match was, he even got 5 stars. 5 stars from Mr. Dave Meltzer. I mean, this is going to be a classic tag team title match. Probably the best tag team title match on a takeover since DIY and the Revival in Toronto. Easy.
Really?
And hopefully you add a stipulation, because I don't want to see just another standard tag team match. Hopefully you add like maybe 2 out of 3 falls, maybe a tag team ladder match. I don't know.
If they do a tag team ladder match, oh my god.
I expect these 2 teams to go out there and deliver what I'm saying will be the best match of the weekend. Prediction, Undisputed retains. They just did the title change to get a big crowd at the Royal Albert Hall show, UK tournament. Undisputed will stay as the champions for a little longer, and then I believe whether it's at War Games or Royal Rumble weekend, they'll drop those titles to the War Raiders.
Yeah, I would agree. Devin Crawley from Texas actually said hi to you, Jake.
Yo, you know who that is, right? You had
yeah
on a StormsStream.
Yeah, I know. I had him on a StormsStream earlier this month, I believe. It was at the beginning of January, the beginning of July. It's Devin Crawley at Really Cringy on Twitter and at Russell97 on Instagram. Shout out to you. All right. Next, let's talk about the NXT Women's Championship match between Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. Give me your prediction on this one, Jake.
Like I said, I'm sure they'll have a good match. I'm sure, and like I think Kairi's winning the title because I think Shayna is coming up to the main roster soon to be with Ronda. Like, they're going to want to do something with that. So, and I can see Kairi saying, like, they're going to want to get that title on another one of the top heels or Candice. I don't know which one it's going to be, but either way, I think Kairi's retaining, and then maybe Shayna gets a rematch, and then she goes up to the main roster.
All right. Oh, Gustavo just asked, how loud do you think the pop is going to be when Braun Strowman cashes in at SummerSlam?
If there's people still in the arena, yeah, it'll be a loud pop.
I think that is the only reason. That's the only reason why people are going to even stay, to see if Braun cashes in.
Strowman is going to be the ultimate superhero if that happens.
Amen. All right, and now the main event of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. The final prediction that we're going to get from you before we move into the SummerSlam match order that we're going to talk about is Tommaso Ciampa defending the NXT Championship for the first time ever, actually, in a triple threat match. This is the first time in NXT history it's going to be a triple threat match between 3 of the top NXT competitors for the NXT title. Ciampa defending against Black and Gargano. Who's going to win?
That's what I love about NXT. They don't overdo multi-man matches. They never overdo them. They do one-on-one straight-up competition. So when we do see a triple threat match like this, it actually means something, and we're actually legitimately excited for it. Obviously, it's going to be a great triple threat. Another one of the best matches of the weekend for sure, considering who's involved. But out of all of these matches, I have to say this easily is the most easy to predict. It's going to be another chapter in the Gargano story and Ciampa's story. I don't see Gargano winning the title right now. They'll save it for later. So Ciampa will pin Aleister Black. He'll retain, and then that'll send Aleister Black up to the roster, and Gargano and Ciampa will be feuding, heading into War Games.
I'm telling you right now, I have camera side seats for Brooklyn. If Gargano wins the NXT title, I swear I think I'm going to lose my voice. Even though I don't think it's the right time, if he does, I'm going to mark out. All right. Now.
Same, but I'm going to retain because it's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the right time.
Yeah. But anyway, we have just finished the NXT TakeOver predictions. Let's talk about the SummerSlam match order. Now, I believe the only matches confirmed so far for SummerSlam are Roman and Lesnar, AJ and Joe, Ziggler and Rollins, Strowman and Owens, Carmella and Becky, and then Alexa and Ronda. Jake, with those 6 matches, and then obviously the matches that have been rumored to take place, what do you think the match order is going to be from start to finish and pre-show as well?
You see, I mean, it's kind of hard to predict a match. Wait, can you pull up like what the rest of the rumored match card is? Because like
obviously we got Bryan and Miz. We got Bryan and Miz for rumored matches. Bryan and Miz, Sasha Banks and Bayley. If they're going to do a Cruiserweight Championship match, Juanito, SummerSlam is being held in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And I believe that they're going to be switching venues next year. So the rumored matches, we got Daniel Bryan, Miz, Sasha Banks and Bayley. The Cruiserweight Championship match is either going to be Cedric and Gulak or Cedric and Mustafa. I think they might be setting up for Mojo Rawley versus Bobby Roode on the SummerSlam pre-show based on the segments on Raw. We're going to get The Bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers. We're going to get Nakamura, Hardy, and Orton for the U.S. title. And then we're going to get The Revival versus the Deleters of Worlds versus the B-Team for the tag team titles. So you combine that, and I think that's around like 13 matches.
Yeah, so here's what I'll do for the kickoff show. I'll do Mojo and Bobby Roode.
Okay.
And because you know one of them's going to be on the pre-show. I'll have it be the Raw Tag Team title match with them, I'm being honest.
So wait a second.
Compared to the SmackDown Tag Team title.
Okay, so you said Mojo and Bobby, and then you said the Raw Tag Team titles, and what was the other one?
Those are the 2 matches on the kickoff show.
Okay.
The rest is main card.
Okay, and what would it start with?
You see, you got to get the show off a hot start, just like every pay-per-view. So I'd start off with the SmackDown Tag Team title match. Who doesn't love a good tag team match to open up a pay-per-view?
So what would you say the SmackDown Tag Team title? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was reading a comment.
Yes, Bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers. Yes.
Okay, so Bar versus the Bludgeon Brothers, and so that's 3 matches. What else? What's after that?
You see, here's the thing with these pay-per-views. When it comes to long pay-per-views, you don't want to stack them.
Sorry, you're cutting out there for a minute. You were cutting out there. Can you restart?
I think you want to spread matches out on pay-per-view like this, don't you? Like, you don't want to stack the matches. You have to give like some filler matches in there to like as our appetizers to get to the big matches that we're all looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So number 2 is going to be Becky and Carmella. I'm guessing you just put it there just to get it out of them. Then you do the IC title match, 3. Then Strowman and Owens, 4. Then you do another title match. You do Alexa Ronda. Then Miz versus Bryan. Hold on, what other matches do we have? I'm forgetting.
We got the U.S. title triple threat. We got the WWE Championship. We got Sasha and Bayley. We got Bryan and The Miz, and then we got the Universal Championship match. And I think that might be it. Unless
I don't see Sasha happening though, because they're like friends all of a sudden.
I think that they may be just a facade. It may be just a gimmick just for Sasha to turn heel.
Okay. I guess after that, then you do Sasha versus Bayley, I guess. And then you do the U.S. title match, then the WWE title match, and Roman versus Lesnar. I'm being realistic here. I want AJ Joe to main event, but this is WWE. I got to be realistic.
Mm.
So that's my match order.
And yeah, that was it. Did you put the U.S. title match in there?
Yeah, top.
Okay. Hold on. Nathan, my friend Nathan from Manchester actually asked which SummerSlam was my personal favorite. The SummerSlam that I find to be my most personal favorite was either the SummerSlam in 2014, because that was a night of pretty damn good decisions. We had Lesnar win the title and just squash John Cena. We had Dolph Ziggler win the Intercontinental Championship. Bray Wyatt won a match. But the SummerSlam that really sticks out to me the most was actually my very first pay-per-view that I've ever watched, SummerSlam 2008. And that was when we had CM Punk and JBL for the World Heavyweight title. We had Jeff Hardy and MVP. We had that great Hell in a Cell match between Edge and The Undertaker, which was, perhaps in my opinion, one of the most underrated Hell in a Cell matches that there have been in WWE history. But my SummerSlam match order goes as follows. I would put Mojo and Bobby on the pre-show. I would also put, if they're going to do it, I would put Almas and Vega versus Rusev and Lana on the pre-show as well. So those two matches are on the pre-show, and then the main show, I would kick off with the Cruiserweight Championship match between Cedric and Ali, and excuse me, and then I'd have Sasha Banks versus Bayley after that match. Then I would do the U.S. title triple threat, and then I would have the filler match of Carmella and Becky Lynch, and then I'd have Strowman and Owens, and then I would have Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. Then I would have Daniel Bryan and The Miz. Then I would have the SmackDown Tag Team title match. Then I would have the Universal title match. And then I would have the Intercontinental Championship match. And after that, I would have the WWE Championship match. And I believe those are all the matches. I don't think I missed anything. That's how I would do it.
No, you didn't.
I didn't miss any?
Oh, wait, I think you missed the Raw Tag Team title match.
Oh, yeah, and the Raw Tag Team title match, that I would put between Becky and Carmella and Strowman and Owens. I would put it between there.
Yeah, we're done with that.
All right. And Mac Diesel, he actually just said Mandy Rose was your champion. Hey, Mandy Rose, she's going to be champion, but right now is not her time. If they want to, I think that Mandy Rose could very well be champion by mid-2019, I would say. Becky Lynch needs to hold it for a while, and then we need Asuka to win that title from Becky. But anyway, we have finished the SummerSlam match order. Speaking of the women, let's talk about Evolution. Evolution was announced as the first ever all-women's pay-per-view. You are right, Gustavo. Sasha should have turned heel a long, long, long time ago. So we got Evolution.
Should have
been what?
Should have been at Elimination Chamber.
Should. It should have. So we got Evolution on October 28th. So, SummerSlam 2008. Hey, we all get old and we don't even realize it, Juanito. You all get old and we don't even realize it. But Evolution is on October 28th. So we got all three championships across all three brands being defended, as well as the finals of the Mae Young Classic taking place. So, first things first, I want to ask you, what legends do you think are going to appear at Evolution?
Obviously, Trish
Lita.
Beth Phoenix.
Hold on, you cut out there for a minute.
Maybe AJ Lee.
That's a toss-up.
Never know.
That's a hit or miss.
Maybe Melina.
I would actually have no
problem. About to go.
Yeah, I would actually have no problem with, I don't know, maybe Molly Holly coming back. I mean, she made an appearance in the Royal Rumble and she looked pretty good. I wouldn't mind that.
Michelle McCool.
I wouldn't mind that. She's a damn good wrestler. I actually agree with Jake. Kelly Kelly isn't really a pioneer in the women's division, Juanito. I mean, Kelly.
If you can bring her back.
Yeah, you can bring her back.
You can bring her into.
Yeah. You can, we talked about AJ Lee. He said AJ Lee. But, Kelly Kelly's a hit or miss. She isn't really a pioneer. She wasn't really, a fantastic wrestler. At least that's how I remember it. But, I actually agree with Jake. Those women should be on tap for Evolution. Next, let's predict the championship matches. The SmackDown, the Raw, and the NXT Women's Championship. I'll go first on this one. I think that it's going to be a rematch from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn with the new NXT Women's Champion, Kairi Sane, defending against Shayna Baszler. No, Eva Marie was a terrible wrestler, Gustavo. She was nothing more than tits and ass, just like Carmella and Alexa Bliss. The Raw Women's Championship match.
I for Eva Marie any day. I'd take both of them over Eva Marie any day.
Yeah, true. When it comes to the wrestling ring, hell yeah.
He's thinking, Eva Marie didn't even know how to do like a shin lock.
Oh my god. Did you see
that proper?
Did you see that? Well, hold on. We're going to put this on pause for a minute. Did you see that, it's all good, Gustavo. Did you see that one episode of NXT where Eva Marie completely botched a big boot and she hit her in the shoulder and then she did like a sliding flatliner and the NXT crowd was legitimately chanting, "What was that?" I swear when I heard that the first time, I was laughing my ass off.
I saw that.
It's like she didn't even get her foot up. She didn't even get her foot up. Like, she knew she sucked at wrestling. She knew she sucked at wrestling. But she continued to do it just to get famous. Alright, so enough about enough about Eva Marie. So the NXT Women's Championship is going to be Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. At Evolution, I do want to see Becky Lynch defending against. Let me think about that. You see, there's a toss-up. Yeah, I saw that, Nathan. I saw that. It's a toss-up between which is the right opponent for Becky Lynch to face, because you got Carmella, who's looking for a rematch, which I think she should get a rematch on SmackDown, so that way we can get her out of the picture. I think that we are going to have either Asuka or Naomi or Charlotte on tap. If they want to, I would put Charlotte in there, so that way Becky Lynch could get a win over Charlotte, and then Asuka can win the title from Becky around TLC. That way Becky has a nice 4-month reign with the title, and then we get it to Asuka. Kairi Sane loses to Bianca Belair, probably at NXT Takeover LA, which I think is being held Royal Rumble weekend. Becky Lynch versus Toni Storm, that would be a good one. I think Toni Storm is making the finals of the Mae Young Classic, so I would do Asuka and Kairi Sane at WrestleMania, so Kairi Sane could win the Women's Royal Rumble. Actually, no, you know what? She doesn't have to win the Women's Royal Rumble. She could be drafted to SmackDown and win the Women's Elimination Chamber. Yes, Survivor Series weekend. So what I think is going to happen, I think we're going to get Becky and Charlotte as the SmackDown Women's Championship match, along with Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane. And for the Raw Women's Championship match, if they really want to make it big, you could do Ronda Rousey in a rematch from Money in the Bank against Nia Jax. I really wouldn't mind that, because their match at Money in the Bank was pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. So we got those 3 matches, and then the finals of the Mae Young Classic. I would actually do Toni Storm versus Caitlyn as the Mae Young Classic final. I think Caitlyn was a great damn wrestler. She was actually one of the few divas who could actually wrestle, along with AJ Lee. And Toni Storm is self-explanatory, because Toni Storm, she had a great damn match with Piper Niven, aka Viper, in the Mae Young Classic last year. She had a great match with Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. So Toni Storm can really bring the best out of whoever she's in the ring with. She's almost like the female AJ Styles, or she's morphing into the female AJ Styles. So we got those 4 matches. If you want to do a dream match, I would love to see Sasha Banks versus Trish Stratus. I would love to see Lita and maybe Molly Holly face off in a tag team match against the Iconics. I would love that. I would love to see Bayley versus Michelle McCool, stuff like that. I would love to see maybe Naomi versus Jacqueline, if they want to do that, because Jacqueline was in the Women's Royal Rumble this year. I would love to see that. There's a lot of different matches that you could put forth to the pay-per-view, but those are just some matches that I would specifically like to see. And if we're talking about which match should main event the show, I believe that the finals of the Mae Young Classic should main event the show, and either Caitlyn or Toni Storm should go over. So, Jake, I want you to give me some matches that you think are going to happen, and which match should main event.
Okay, here are my championship matches. Becky, Asuka. I think they're going to do the. Hopefully, they do that. Carmella gets her rematch, and then we can move on to Becky versus Asuka. For the Raw, I have to disagree with you. I don't think it's going to be Nia Jax. I'd have it be Ember Moon. Ember Moon versus Ronda Rousey to me actually sounds like a very, very good match.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
She won't win the title, but she'll put up a great fight. She'll look strong in defeat. She's going to have a great match. And we all know how great Ember Moon is. And I think in a match with Ronda, it'll be the perfect spotlight. It'll be for the perfect way to show casual fans. And what is really her first big match on a pay-per-view, big singles match, to show them all just how good she really is.
I would love to see Ember Moon
and for the NXT
versus Ronda Rousey.
And it's for the NXT Women's title, just a rematch from Brooklyn with Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, yeah.
How about the Mae Young Classic?
I agree with your finals, except they changed one thing. I think it's going to be Toni Storm versus this other Japanese woman who I'm hearing is one guy. I've heard great things about her, but I haven't really watched any of her, but I think it's going to be her against Toni Storm.
What was it?
In the finals.
Was it Miko or Io Shirai? I think her name is. Like, the Japan fans are going to be so pissed at me.
Io Shirai.
Io Shirai, yeah. I don't really watch too much New Japan, so for the Japan fans out there, don't kill me, because I don't know how to pronounce these names. But, so you really think it's going to be... What?
She wrestles for this different women's promotion in Japan. She did.
Okay. So we're going to get Io Shirai and Toni Storm.
Io wins. If I had to make an early prediction.
Okay. So Io's going to go over there. Which match should main event?
It's not the Mae Young Classic Finals, then probably Ronda Rousey versus Ember Moon.
That wouldn't be a bad match, because Ember Moon and Ronda Rousey, they could tear the house down in that one. What other... What did you say?
Like the...
Sorry, you were cutting out there.
Is that or not?
Sorry, you were cutting out there. I can't really hear you.
Like, you know how you mentioned that you... Like, that are non-title?
What?
Like, Sasha versus Trish and Lita and Molly Holly versus
Yeah.
Iconics?
Yeah.
I'll give those as well. I agree with some of them. I would change. I have Charlotte versus Trish instead, because they're going on the show.
That
and
would
a
be
match
better.
with Trish. Good. You could trade places. You can do Charlotte versus Trish and Lita versus Sasha. And listen, I know you're going to get pissed, and you're this, but hey, walk it over the Iconics as the new dominant female duo.
No, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it. I want the Iconics to succeed. I wouldn't mind it.
Same, but besides, yeah, that's the match part, basically. That's what I do.
You know what would be funny? You know what would be really funny? I would legitimately...
What?
I would legitimately laugh in disgust if WWE did a cross-brand promotion match with a Raw and a SmackDown superstar. And since Alexa and Carmella face off against each other, and they do a cross-promotional match. And yeah, you're right. You're right, Gustavo. I do want to see the Demon Balor back. But yeah, a cross-promotion.
Nightmare?
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I just wanted to point that out there. Imagine how pathetic would it be if they did that. A cross-promotion match between Alexa Bliss and Carmella. Now, if you had Eva Marie, if Eva Marie was still in NXT, that would be a real nightmare. That would be a candidate for worst match of the decade. Oh my God!
Like they like a secret promotional match. We're thinking, it could be Sasha versus maybe Asuka versus Natalya, but no, it's Alexa versus Carmella.
Oh my God! Could you imagine?
That's something WWE do. They will hype it up with some big match, and then it'd be revealed that it's Alexa.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if they did that? Oh, by the way, speaking of Evolution, did you see that troll report on Twitter made by some fan that said Roman Reigns was going to be featured at Evolution, defeating Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship, and Ronda Rousey was
Yes,
going
I did. It was Braun the feminist against Braun the universe, fighting for the women's rights.
Oh my God! Oh my God! When I saw that, I nearly had a heart attack.
And Rousey raises his arm. Oh my God! But they could go that low. I wouldn't put it past them to go that.
I nearly had a heart attack. Oh, hang on. Gustavo actually just asked a question. Who should Alexa Bliss face at Evolution?
She should have her in a tag team match of some sort against like two of the legends. I don't know.
Maybe Mickie James.
Alexa, really?
Yeah, maybe Mickie James and Alexa Bliss versus the Bell Twins or something like that. I mean, that would be a piss break match.
Or versus, I don't know.
I mean, like, again, it's a toss-up. Like, really, the championship matches are the easiest things to confirm, if I'm going to be honest with you. The championship matches are pretty straightforward at this rate. But, yeah, Alexa Bliss, like, she's really going to be worthless. I mean, she already is worthless, but she's really just going to be a complete lost soul after she loses the Raw Women's Championship, which I have no problem with because I can't stand her. But we're going to see how that plays out. But I'm telling you, if they really did that Roman storyline, I feel as though I would have had a heart attack. Oh, yeah, an Ultra Shadow, yeah. Stephanie McMahon wants to play off. Wait, what?
If they did that, I might stop watching WWE, or at least Raw, and I would watch New Japan full time.
Oh my God, don't even remind me about that. I'm not even subscribed to New Japan because I like to spend my money on a little more important things. Right now I just have the network, but if they did that, maybe I would subscribe to New Japan. But what was I going to say? Yeah, what did Ultra Shadow just comment? I completely forgot about it. But regardless, that's basically our whole take on Evolution. I predict Evolution, it could be a great pay-per-view. If WWE books it right. I always say this. No matter what they do, the booking always makes or breaks a pay-per-view. A pay-per-view could have some great damn wrestling, but it ultimately could fall flat. Oh my God. Gustavo just said, I'm going to have a brain aneurysm if Roman becomes Universal Champion at Evolution. And Mac Diesel, thank you for the love, man. You go do what you got to do. We're actually going to get out of here right now because it's the weekend, it's the summertime, and we're going to go sleep in. We got Monday Night Raw. Do not forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @TheDJStorms. Do not forget to like, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to go and watch the Lightning Flash update from 2 days ago if you've already missed it. Do not forget to check out the Lightning Flash update next week. Do not forget to follow Jake on Twitter at WokenJakeSalig. And do not forget, next weekend at Invisible Magic, the word invisible and then Magick. Her real name's Bree. She will be joining me on Twitter, if you know her. She'll be joining me next week for the 4th annual special edition StormsStream. And ladies and gentlemen, he is Jake Salig. I'm DJ Storms. This has been a special edition StormsStream. Any last words you want to say before we sign off, Jake?
One more thing before I go. I did hear the sad news about Grandmaster Sexy, Jerry the King Lawler's son, sadly passed away. I'd like to say rest in peace. My thoughts and prayers go out to the entire Lawler family.
Amen.
It's very sad. Suicide is no joke. And anyone, if you ever think about it, just call the hotline. Just do it.
Yeah.
You won't do yourself any good if you do that. Just don't.
Yeah. It's a very sad thing. A lot of, 3 wrestlers died today, I think. I think, Nikolai Volkov. Yeah, Nikolai Volkov also passed away. So we got Grandmaster Sexy, we got Nikolai Volkov, and then there was another guy, an independent wrestler, passed away. If you know who his name is.
I don't know who that is at all.
It was I think his name was Brimstone Brick or something like that. But regardless, what?
Yeah, I heard Brimstone Brick or something. I don't know what his name is, but I heard about him.
But regardless, so Brickhouse Brown. There we go. Brickhouse Brown. Thank you, Gustavo. So, ladies and gentlemen, last thing before we sign off, let's take a break for a minute. Let's put the character aside. Let's put the wrestling aside. Suicide is really no joke. And if anyone has suicidal thoughts, please go talk to someone you love. Go talk to someone. Go and go do something you love. Make sure that there's always going to be people there for you. And I hope everyone understands. Never, ever, ever take your own life. I get this. I get that this world is cruel, but there's always some saving graces about this world. We all need to come together as a society, no matter who you are, whether we're black, we're white, we're tall, we're short, we have black hair, we have blonde hair. Regardless, we all need to come together. So do not commit suicide. Rest in peace, Grandmaster Sexy. Rest in peace, Brickhouse Brown, and rest in peace, Vladimir. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms.
He's not Vladimir.
Yeah, Vladimir Volkov. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah, Nikolai Volkov. I'm sorry. Again, I don't know these names. I wasn't really a classic WWE guy. But regardless, I'm DJ Storms. He's Jake Salig. This has been the 3rd annual special edition StormsStream, and you have a great night.